Welcome, everybody. Have you ever been watching a show with your husband and then all of a sudden there's a bare butt on the screen
Butts.
and you weren't really expecting it? And your husband's like, I thought we were watching a Regency romance. Why are there butt? Oh God, now there's boobs.
It's
What are
better
we
to do
watching?
that than, watching it with your parents
That is true.
or your
So,
kids or
or your kids come downstairs and they're like, what? Are you guys watching porn? So, Molly and I are taking a break from first page critiques, and we wanted to talk about convincing your husband to watch Bridgerton with you.
or your boyfriend or your partner or
Whomever.
whomever it is, to watch Bridgerton with you because we all know that you're out there watching it. We're watching it. And, sometimes we wanna share these fun things with our partners, and I know it took a little bit of convincing to get my husband to watch it, but I did. And, Teresa, similar story with you?
Yeah, it really was. Where I was like, there's like this Bridgerton show that everyone's talking about. We should watch it together. It sounds like fun. And he was like, is it like Pride and Prejudice? I'm like, kind of, yeah. Yeah, we should watch it together. It's not.
It's not. Okay, so here's your first question. So my husband works in an environment with mostly women, so they were talking about it. And he came in on I was watching it on the television one day and he's like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "It's Bridgerton." He's like, "My coworkers are talking about this. What is this show?" How would you or do you want me to start? Do you want to know how I describe this show?
Yeah, go for it.
I said, "Well, it's sort of a Regency romance, except it's not technically historically in the Regency period because it isn't."
It's not.
And and that's the first thing he looked at me, he's like, "What do you mean it's not technically Regency?" I'm like, "Well, it's not technically historic, but it's like Regency inspired. Regency inspired romance." And it's a lot of like Teresa kind of said, it's a lot of like Pride and Prejudice. There's a lot of touching, a lot of like looks, a lot of dancing, a
Dance
lot of
uh,
like
dance
ooh,
cards.
dance cards, a
Yeah.
lot of people longingly staring at each other across dance floors, and then very abruptly, butts. Just butts, 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 butts everywhere. That's what I went with.
And that made him be like, we should watch this.
Well, then he asked me the question of, "Is it good?" And that I found was a very interesting question because I was like, it's
Yes.
enjoyable.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a
Good,
lot
I
of
don't know. Enjoyable, yes.
it's very I would describe it as very fun. It is very fun. Suspend belief. Don't worry about the history part of it. Don't worry about how the queen is keeping those crazy wigs with like a swan inside. Don't even think about it.
Oh
Don't
my
even
gosh,
think
the
about
wigs.
it.
Have you seen Cressida Cowper's hair?
Oh
Like,
my
every
gosh.
time it's in this elaborate, like we'll have to put some images up on the screen for this, like, there's a whole, like, subculture of, like, Instagram and TikTok that's just obsessed with people's wigs in this show.
It's crazy. And I have to admit, I love the costumes. I'm always like, no, no, wait, hit pause. I want to see that dress. Um, but for me, and my husband grudgingly watches it, because he knows I enjoy it, but he's hilarious to watch with because he's like, who's that? And I'm like, a Bridgerton. And he's like, okay, who's that? And I'm like, a Bridgerton. And he's like, okay, who's that? And I'm like, another Bridgerton. And he's like, how many Bridgertons are there?
My husband had the same like, especially in the beginning, it's like, there's, like, 8 of them. Well, there's and the mom.
Hmm.
So there's, like, 9 of them, and he's like, "Why are there so many?" And I was like, "Well, I think because 'cause they're" okay, another thing is that these are loosely based off of books, and my understanding, because I haven't read the books, oops, is that, like, each book kind of follows, like, one romance for one of the Bridgerton kids, and, I was like, "Well, then you have a whole series. If you have 8 kids, you can have a lot of books in your series." It's a good framing device.
It works. It works.
And I'm going to say something that the author did kind of brilliantly is, yeah, there's 8 Bridgerton kids, right? And we always talk about in writing how you don't want to throw too many characters at your reader too fast because they're not going to figure out like who is who and it confuses them. Okay, the author there are 8 kids, right? Which is a lot and it's a lot of names. And they're all named alphabetically from oldest to youngest. So the oldest is Anthony, and then it works its way, B, C, D, E, F, G, H down the alphabetical list. So if you're ever confused about like the order of their age or like anything like that, you're like, okay, that one is Colin. Colin is older than Daphne, but younger than Benedict. And you're all set. And I'm like, oh God, that's so stupid, but I love it.
It
It works so
works.
well.
It works. So what else can we do to help get our partners interested in watching Bridgerton with us? I mean,
Listen, it's
there's the sex.
oh yeah, there's the sex. So if that's what you're here for, be here for it.
Why not?
I think it's just like fun. It is just like do not go into it with expectations of historical accuracy because it's only, I will say again, Regency inspired. Okay, like yeah. It's just put the subtitles on and allow yourself to have fun with your partner and just being like, wait, who is that? Wait, how did they get their hair to stand up like that? Wait, is so and so interested? What are they gonna do? And then you listen to like the music pick up at different times and you're like, oh, they're gonna get it. And then
Yeah.
they do.
Music picks up and there's two people staring at each other.
And you're like, kiss, 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 kiss,
And
kiss,
then it
kiss.
stops and then it just breaks away. And then you're like, oh, come on, kiss in front of everybody. It's okay, which you wouldn't do. And that's not really done in that time period. And also
And then they do
in
it, but you cheer
they do.
for it anyway.
You do. You cheer for it. You cheer for it. And you get behind these moms that are like, got to get a love match. Got to
Yeah,
get a love match. Got to get my daughter hooked up with the most eligible bachelor. You get behind these moms and you're like, you go, mom.
right? I think my husband's favorite character is Lady Danbury. She
I
is
like
great.
her. Yeah, she
She
is.
is just like she's a boss.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what you have to go into it. You just got to be there for the characters. You got to be there for the drama and just be excited to just like cheer. And part of the like the fun that we've had is not like watching it quietly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Agreed.
watching it, but the dialogue that you have with the person or people you're watching it with is part of the fun. Because sometimes they say lines and you're like, oh, boo, boo, you can't say that. You messed that one up, Colin, or whoever. And then sometimes they say things and they're like, oh, now kiss, do it. Or whatever it might be. It's just fun to cheer, like kind of in a loud way. You're in your own home, so it's fine. But like I said, put the subtitles on, get your popcorn, get your beverage, and just have fun.
So bottom line, tell your partner it's fun. Come, come and hang out. We're gonna
And let
watch it
us
together.
know. Let us know down below if you watch with your partner and how you got them convinced, or if you don't watch and it's not fun for you, change our opinion.
Yeah. All right. I think that's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for letting us go off on a weird tangent. And don't forget to like and subscribe and come hang out with us on our Discord, Semi Sages of the Pages. We'll see you around.
Bye.
Take care.